Patrice.
Good morning, Miss Patsy. Look what I just found in the foyer.
Wonder how that got there.
I know.
That's so interesting. Well, I have something to show you. You weren't here last Monday when we were open and had to close. And we had our leprechaun trap ready to go, but it was the day before, and the leprechaun came anyhow during rest and left some gold coins for the kids who were here. But the very next day was St. Patrick's Day, and I walked in today and look at what I saw. Come here, I have to show you, Patrice.
Okay. Oh my goodness!
Look at all of these presents.
Are these for the Parkway children?
They are, and the leprechaun didn't leave any food because he knew they weren't going to be here, but he left them all a stuffed animal. And we'll have to make sure, Patrice, that we get them to the kids, okay?
Okay.
We'll get them there this week.
What a nice leprechaun.
He was super nice. So what I'd like to do is read a story. I have a leprechaun story, and I'm going to read that right now.
Okay.
Before I read my story, I want to say happy spring to all the kids. Good morning. I miss you all so much, and I know you missed out on our leprechaun this year, so I have a nice book for you. I'm going to read this, and then we're still going to do our letter U, so I'll take a few minutes to do that as well. So this story is the night before St. Patrick's Day. And you'll have to tell me at the end what this book reminds you of. Here's our front cover.
Zoom in. Okay.
'Twas the night before St. Patrick's Day to Weir Green. Not a creature was stirring except Tim and Maureen. They decked out the den from ceiling to floor with streamers and rainbows and shamrocks galore. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Tim yells out, and Maureen puts her arms up with joy. Later they carefully made traps with gold charms and rings. I bet we catch a leprechaun, they love shiny things, for if they caught one, so the legends told, they'd find where he buried his big pot of gold. They set all the traps around the room with great care, in hopes a wee Irishman soon would be theirs. The children then nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of golden coins danced in their heads. Happy St. Patty's Day, said Dad early the next morning. Then he started to play bagpipes without a warning. He huffed and he puffed in old Irish song. Mom dished out green eggs and sang along loudly. When from their bedroom there arose such a clatter, the kids ran down the hallway to see what was the matter. And what to their wondering eyes should appear? But a terrible mess, and a leprechaun was here. Be quiet, whispered Maureen. He's hiding somewhere. When we find him, remember, we must hold his stare. For if you look away, if you so much as a blink, leprechauns vanish quick as a wink. The kids trailed muddy footprints back and forth across the floor, which led them under Tim's bed and past the closet door. And then inside a trap, they heard someone giggling. A real live leprechaun, they both saw him wriggling. His eyes, how they twinkled, his body so tiny. His hands clasped a little trinket so golden and shiny. He was dressed in all green from his head to his toes, and he looked like a cobbler wearing fairy-sized clothes. Oh, the children approached him, staring straight in his eyes. Tell us where the gold is, don't be tricky and no lies. I buried it under a rock, smooth and hard. It's marked with an X right in your own backyard. But when the kids went outside with their shovels and picks, they instantly saw it had only been a trick. Look at all those rocks with all those X's. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Ha ha ha, I fooled you. It's time to disappear. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you and better luck next year. So this is the story I was going to read to you the next day, but we didn't have school. So I will save all my books I'm going to read each day to you, and we'll read them all again when we come back to Parkway. So I want to take 1 minute too, because we left off on the letter U. So I want to start, before I even start the letter U, I want to sing a song to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. We're all in our places with bright shining faces, and this is the way we start our new day. Today we are going to talk about the letter U, and if you were all here, I would be saying, what sound does the letter U make? And we'd all say, ah, 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 ah. And here is what the letter U looks like. That's a big U. An uppercase U, it's larger than the small u, the lowercase u, and they're both very similar. And if we were to make one with our finger, put your fingers up, we would start at the top, come down, and go right back up. And that's all it is to a letter U. Ah is the sound the letter U makes. So we're going upstairs, and this is a umbrella. And this is a unicorn and a unicycle, because the letter U is also a vowel, but that's a lot you'll learn later. And the letter U has two sounds, one and one that says U. So in my spare time today, because you weren't with me, I made a unicorn. And I made a unicorn mask, and I wanted to share it with you. It was out of a paper plate. And I decorated it with some pretty flowers and some gold sparkles. And now I'm a unicorn. So, I miss you all. And I will be back again each day. And we'll send you a video. And we'll take turns, because you don't want to see just Miss Patsy. You want to see Miss Patrice and Miss Treese and Miss Adrian and Miss Jane and Miss Jennifer and Miss Jen and Miss Liz. We'll all have stories, so we stay connected. I miss you. I love you. Until tomorrow.